I've lived in New York for years, and I was a Delta Diamond flyer based out of New York. And while it was never the best program, I left a couple years ago after Delta really started to move the needle. And I've seen what was coming, that Delta is going to kind of take away the magic of frequent flyer programs, the ability to redeem a set amount for a flight, and move to a more revenue model where you have to be spending a ton and getting less value back. Now, for certain people, they may be getting more value, and I never like to say that any one program is or isn't a best choice. So Crystal writes in, she lives in New York, with the Delta devaluations and their mileage charts starting in June 2016, do you think it's time that I switch to another carrier like American or United? And this question, in New York we have a lot of options. So I think the first thing is geographically, where do you live in New York? If you switch to United, they're moving all their JFK flights to Newark. Is that going to be convenient for you? If it's not convenient, it's going to add an extra hour to your commute. I think you have to factor that into the cost-benefit analysis. Yes, United miles are more valuable, but isn't your time worth a lot more? Delta's got a great amount of traffic out of LaGuardia and a big new terminal, JFK, so you have a lot of options there. Now, as far as American, it depends. I think top-tier American Executive Platinum is the best elite status out there. The system-wide upgrades are super valuable. They still give complimentary upgrades on transcontinental flights, the only airline left giving that at the 72-hour window for transatlantic or transcontinental flights. They're loosening up their transatlantic, changing your flights, which can save a lot of money. So I like American, but American at the lower and mid tiers isn't really that great in my opinion. So I would say if you're in the mid tiers, Delta's not the worst option. Yes, they're devaluing, but the beautiful thing about is this. The airline that you fly doesn't have to be the airline that you collect all your miles in. I would recommend diversify, get other credit cards, Sapphire Preferred, to diversify and be able to transfer to United so you can fly on Delta, especially because the Delta flying experience is pretty good. Go on almost every flight, generally nice flight attendants. So the answer is up to you, but I wouldn't switch, what's the saying, to cut off your nose to spite your face. I wouldn't switch to an airline that had less service and would cause you more time just for the miles. But if you have any other questions, tweet me at The Points Guy and make sure you like us on Facebook.